I thought the most terrifying thing that could happen was being eaten alive by a monster in the dark. But there is something much more horrifying than that, forcing you to drink from a black clay pot, to become their kind and their bride forever.
They say going home to a distant province is fun, especially when you meet your boyfriend's family. But what if they have a different plan for you? I am Kuya Boy, and this is Aswang Confessions. Lock the doors to your bedrooms very tightly, and beware of the people who love you too much.
You are probably familiar with my earlier stories. I am Mara, the former private nurse in Makati, the call center agent who worked with a monster. Because of my severe trauma from the past few years, I have become incredibly paranoid of the people around me. Until I finally met Alex in our office. He was our new operations manager at the BPO company. He was so kind, always bringing coffee for my shift. We started dating, and I felt truly safe with him. We've been together for a year, happily spending every day. Alex was an absolutely perfect boyfriend for me. He always worked overtime just to match my night shift, even with his pale skin and dark eye circles. He said it was just from lack of proper sleep. I accepted that because I knew the BPO life well. One day, he invited me to his home province. He said there was a large family reunion and fiesta. I felt nervous knowing they were going home to Capiz. We all know the terrifying rumors about that distant place. But I didn't want to judge my boyfriend's family quickly. I agreed because I really loved Alex so much. We rode an old bus heading to their province. The incredibly long trip took almost 20 tiring hours. I noticed that Alex did not even sleep at all. He just stared at me while I slept so soundly. When I woke up, he just smiled in the dark. When we arrived at their village, everything was strangely quiet. A massive and ancient stone house welcomed us warmly. Alex's entire clan greeted us at the large front gate. I immediately noticed something very strange about all of them. They were all tall, pale, and had extremely cold hands.
If you made it this far, please hit the like button, share this video, and help us reach our goal of 1,000 subscribers. Your support means the world to us, and we are so grateful for each and every one of you.
Because of my past trauma, I became very observant. I quickly peeked into their kitchen while they were cooking. I wanted to see if they cooked with much garlic. I wanted to know if they avoided using salt entirely. But to my utter shock, they added so much garlic. They ate adobo filled with lots of garlic and salt. I felt relieved and my suspicions slowly started fading away. I told myself, I am just being paranoid right now. My boyfriend's relatives are just a perfectly normal family. They are really just preparing for a massive town fiesta. Later that afternoon, Alex brought me to a large room. He said it belonged to his long-dead grandfather. The whole place smelled strongly of dust and old wood. I saw a large wooden chest under the old bed. I wanted to open it, but Alex suddenly entered. He said, "Opening the old things there was strictly forbidden." I went down to the kitchen to help them cook. I saw his aunt slicing massive chunks of raw meat. They sliced incredibly fast using their large and heavy machetes. But no one looked at the meat they were slicing. They were all staring intensely at my small, fragile neck. I got chills, making an excuse to get cold water. When 11 at night struck, the wind suddenly changed direction. I noticed no outside guests arrived at the big house. Only all of us relatives were inside the huge mansion. And I smelled something strange from behind the large house. The smell of rust. The smell of fresh, thick blood. At the stroke of midnight, the highly anticipated fiesta began. We all sat at an incredibly long wooden dining table. The dining plates were very old and had large cracks. They brought out the meat they had been cooking earlier, but there was no aroma of garlic or delicious spices. It smelled foul, like rotting meat under the intense sun. "Eat now, Mara," Alex's mother offered me with a smile. "That meat is special for the newest family member." I looked closely at the served meat on my plate. It did not look like pork or any ordinary animal. I saw a piece of skin with a small tattoo. A tattoo exactly like the missing agent from our office. I stood up and backed away from the long table. The lights were dead and they only used flickering candles. In the middle, they brought out the final dish tonight. There was a large black clay pot, smoking and stinking. My heart raced faster from the overwhelming panic and fear. Alex approached me and firmly held my cold, shaking hand. His palms were freezing, like ice straight from the freezer. He looked at me, but his eyes had changed appearance. His pupils had become thin and vertical like a cat's. They glowed bright yellow inside the pitch-black dining room. "I love you so much, Mara," he whispered softly. "I refuse to let you grow old and die. I want to be with you forever inside our family." My eyes widened in terror when I understood his words. They didn't invite me here to eat or kill me. They wanted me to become one of their terrifying monsters. Alex's mother smiled, and her cheeks slowly tore wide open. Her jaw dropped down entirely to her bloody exposed throat. Everyone around me began to transform into horrifying, twisted shapes. Their bones cracked loudly, and their dark claws grew longer. The old grandmother approached holding the black pot in hand. It was full of thick black oil and live insects. Alex tightly gripped both of my arms to prevent escape. "Drink this, Mara, so we will never ever be separated." They violently forced my mouth open before the smoking pot. I cried in terror while fighting my monster boyfriend off. The man I loved so much was a dark creature. And the worst part, he did this because of love. I used my final strength to kick the wooden table. I snatched a blazing candle from the old, dusty candelabra. I shoved it right into his mother's long, dark hair. A massive fire quickly ignited across her entire bloody face. Alex let me go from the shock of her roar. I pushed the old grandmother and shattered the black pot. I sprinted incredibly fast outside the ancient stone house. I heard Alex's deafening scream from the burning dark mansion. "I will return, Mara. You cannot escape my eternal love." I ran through the dark fields until reaching the highway. I rode the first bus heading back to Metro Manila. I cried while staring out the bus's dark, lonely window. I am finally safe. I escaped the monster's living hell. But yesterday, while slicing raw pork inside my quiet kitchen, I accidentally sliced my own finger using the sharp knife. Fresh, thick blood dripped down onto my rapidly shaking palm. Instead of washing it and bandaging the fresh open wound, I slowly brought my bloody finger toward my own mouth. I licked my own blood and smiled at the taste, because during my desperate struggle with Alex that dark night, a single drop of black oil had entered my mouth.
My friends, this nightmare ended in the dark, but evil is always searching for a vessel. I am Kuya Boy, and this is Aswang Confessions. If you like the story we shared tonight, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Click the notification bell to stay updated. Until our next terrifying story.